Hi everyone, my name is Robyn Acampora and I am the Deputy Director for Yale's Office of Career Strategy. Today I'm going to be helping you to find peers who worked at places that you are interested in working over the summer. I'm also going to help you find Yale students who majored in what you're majoring in to see what they did for their summer internships. We'll be able to find ideas based on where fellow Yaleys were able to find work in a specific city or a country, and even see what kind of summer experiences first years and sophomores were involved in. So for all of this and more, we are going to be looking at the OCS Summer Peer Networking List. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing you'll need to do is log into Yale Career Link. And from there, you're going to want to select Resources and then Career Library. Once I'm in the Career Library, there's going to be a lot of lists. There's going to be summer lists, the class lists. As I mentioned, today we're going to be focusing on the summer lists. So I'm going to go ahead and select Category, Peer Networking List, that top option, and click Apply. So now we're just looking at the peer list. And specifically, I'm going to take a look at the Summer 2024 list. However, it's important to note that there are previous summers as well. So we can go in here to find back to Summer 2021, 2022, 23. Once I click on the Summer 2024 list, it's going to ask me to download. And once I've downloaded it, I'm going to see an Excel spreadsheet. So let me just toggle over here to the spreadsheet. So as you can see from the sheet, this is showing everyone who answered the Summer 2024 peer networking list. So for that year in particular, we have over 2,500 students who answered, which I think is important to note. So this is going to be a really robust resource as you think about ways to kind of figure out how to network with your peers and to find out more about all of the things that have happened over the summer. One important point that I want to make is that anyone who is listed here has said, yes, you can speak to me. You can reach out to me. So as you can see, all of their emails are right here. That means that you can reach out to them to ask them for advice. You can ask them for a contact at the company they worked at. You might want to ask them if you can meet for lunch or for coffee to pick their brain about their experience. But all of that is completely fine to do with anyone who is listed here because they've agreed to that. So in order to kind of get an idea of all of the ways that you can filter and utilize this list, I'm going to go through the columns real quickly. It shows their first name, their last name. We've got their email, as I mentioned. It also has their major, the class year, the type of position they participated in. It shows whether they did field research. And then it's got location stuff here from city to country to state. We've got the employer that the student worked at, if they've listed that. We've also got industry, employer function, and then describe the interview process, describe the projects you worked on, and the work atmosphere and culture of the organization. So just to get started, I have a lot of students who come in and might say, for example, I want to know what's possible to do as a first year for my first summer. All of the class years here are listed for the class year after position. So, for example, if I want to see what first years did, I'm going to filter by sophomore because that's the class year after the position. So here we go. We have the sophomores are all listed. And then what you can do is go ahead and look by major. You can look by industry. So for example, I'll have students who say, I want to know what students are doing in terms of finance. What are they able to get after their first year here? So if I go over here to employer industry, I'm going to see all of these different industries listed. And if I scroll down to finance and click apply, this is the list of students who have defined their summer experience as finance industry. These are the employers they worked at. These are the locations they've been at, and these are their majors. So this can be a really helpful tool to start getting an idea of employers that would hire, for example, first years after their first experience at Yale. Another way that you might want to filter here is to take a look at the countries. So for example, I'm going to get back to my full list here. I'll have students who are interested in a particular country. And I always say, use the peer list to figure out where are other students who have like worked in that country before, because that can be incredibly helpful. So if you scroll over here and deselect, I might go down here and say, for example, who has worked in China. You can see there's a few different ways that's been listed, and that's fine. So we're going to select all of those. And then this will show what they did. So you can see a lot of people did language study, performance, some unpaid internships. You can also filter by this. So if you said, I just want to see those who had internships, you could filter right here and say just paid internships, select that. And then these are showing employers who hired Yaleys to work for the summer for pay. I would say that there are a lot of other ways that you could continue to filter here. Be sure to check out these last 3 columns. Not all students did answer it though. So if a student did not answer those more evaluative questions, that's something that you can certainly reach out to them when you email them to find out more about their particular experience. Because many are happy to do that via email or in person, but maybe did not want to share that in the peer networking list. So again, this is a tool that I hope many of you take advantage of starting with your first year. If you have other questions, please go to ocs.yale.edu. Thanks very much.